We're in for a bit of an adventure here. I had a pretty good run. No actual story development here, but it's.
Did you not die?
There were a few close calls towards the end, but it was.
That's all right. Close calls are the spice of
It actually made the game a little more fun. Oh, and also you'll notice that. Well, you'll see.
Yeah. We don't know where characters are. They're somewhere.
Well, I had an epiphany right about here. You can almost see me thinking about it.
Yeah.
Bam, we're taking that quest.
Okay, interesting.
Because in this case, it didn't say anything like know where it can be collected from. It specifically said there wasn't a place, and I thought, okay, it'll probably appear, and sure enough, it did. So I guess the trick isn't to like open things up from other levels. It's to take quests that say you can't do them, and then things will open up for you. Oh,
well,
and also
to be
I
fair,
did this.
Yeah, I see that. We talked about this.
The voices are so much better in Japanese.
I know. I told you they would be. I mean, I looked at the. I looked at the list of voice actresses in the Japanese version. I'm like, oh, these are all superstars.
Yeah, Pludia's voice actress is perfectly fine.
Yeah, no, that's Hanazawa Kana. She was Shiri in that The World God Only Knows. She was one of my favorite voices in that series.
IF doesn't sound as brusque as she did before.
Yeah. And she's not saying, like, cut whenever she...
Yeah, she doesn't say jump all the time, either. She actually says a few different things.
Oh.
Game Gear doesn't sound like she's just, coughing it up and not caring about her lines.
Well, to be fair, I think that the English version of her is a pretty close example. But that's
it doesn't.
That's Yui Horie. She's also a superstar.
Yeah, I don't know any of these names, so you'll have to, if you know any examples, just give them. But,
she was Minori in Toradora.
Okay.
She's very well known for playing like bubbly characters.
It's one of the differences that exists between. Well, I say you and me, but I should say me and like most people is like I take virtually no interest in the people behind the scenes of the things I enjoy. So it's like sometimes it's like if someone else starts talking about them, something will pique my interest and I'll go and look stuff up. But for the most part, like if I meet these people, the only thing that I care to tell them is, oh man, you did a great job at this, and I loved it, and that's what's important to me.
Yeah, I guess.
But I respect the trait in other people, because otherwise I wouldn't have known any of this that you were saying.
Well, like, the thing is that I will frequently remember some of these characters because they play someone that like a character that I really liked, and that way I'll be like, okay, well, if I see someone else voiced by that, maybe that's worth looking at. Oh, you got your ass kicked in that fight.
Which is why this turned into a pretty grindy session.
Yeah.
The worst part is I didn't really make too much progress. So like the game is, I was gaining levels like mad, but I wasn't really surviving any better.
Huh.
So, you may not be aware of this, but I think the game has balance issues.
I don't think I've ever actually thought about that. It never crossed my mind.
Do you happen to remember any of the other voice actresses here? Or?
Not offhand, no.
I'm more apt to recognize the voice from somewhere than I am to know who it is.
Well, no, but that's the reason that I know who it is because I saw something that they were really good in, and I said, wow, they're really good at what they do. And then I learned their name eventually because I eventually watch a bunch of things that they're in. I mean, Asumi Kana is another actress whose voice I think is really great. She plays a lot of like offbeat comedic characters. She has this great, like almost like nasally ring to her voice sometimes. That's just really like hilarious when she phrases things in certain ways.
Is she one of the ones in this game, or is that just...
I don't think so, no. She hasn't been in much lately.
What was she in?
She was in The World God Only Knows as well. She was Chihiro in that. She was one of the bit characters in Hayate the Combat Butler.
Okay.
She was the... I don't know how much of that series you saw, but there was a brown-haired girl that was always doing, like, the bokeh end of Mansai stuff, and she played her.
It's been a while since I've seen that. But I never finished it, so I gotta go back to it anyway.
Well, it's worth watching.
I'll keep an ear out for it. Her face looks really funny when she does it. She kind of looks like a Muppet.
I mean, they're anime characters. They are basically Muppets. I mean, their mouths open without their chins moving. Think about that.
I ended up using a lot of healing items too, so I'm digging around for more of them.
Yeah, but now we know where to buy them, and you have tons of cash, so this isn't really that big of a deal.
The Time Eater's gonna steal our wallet next time.
Yoink, gotcha!
Good luck at building those funds up again. He buys the library.
Oh yeah, she doesn't say jump repeatedly. Nice.
She says it sometimes.
Does she say jump in Japanese? What does she say?
She says tobula, I think.
Oh. Well, that's not just jump. That's like I'm gonna jump.
Yeah.
Or I'm jumping. So it makes more sense than just saying jump. But it sounds like they like in the Japanese version they have like 3 or 4 different statements for each action, and they cut that down to like 1.5 in the English version.
Well, another problem is when they re-record things for English versions, a lot of times they get the recording levels wrong. So like when these battles start, you know how the English version, someone's always saying, "What should I do?" They're doing the same thing in Japanese, but it's like kind of like it rides under the music instead of playing over it. And you can change the background music levels and everything in the menu, but that's just a common oversight.
You shouldn't have to fine tune it.
Yeah.
Like you should be able to put all those levels at the same level, and it should be right.
And then, of course, there's the lost in translation factor, where in Japanese they'll be saying something along the lines of "What should I do?" 3 different ways, but that's the only translation they have, so they have all the characters say the same thing.
Right.
Like she says, "Leave it to me."
Right.
But we got the translation "What should I do?" from her as well as everyone else. I like to think that they've got like an omni voice in their studio. It's just like one woman who can do 5 different voices.
No, the worst part is that all of the people in this series in the English version are like assigned as the official English voices of these characters. So they're never going to get any better.
That's awful.
Yeah, I know.
It's like the reason that English voice acting, got such a bad reputation in the anime world, and the reason that there was always this sort of clamoring against it. I don't think it was so much that people were purists all the time. I think that became a part of it, but when
there's definitely a part of it that is about people being purist about it, but there are cases where I've seen series where where I like the English dub better than the Japanese dub.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of times where there's either a nostalgia factor or there's a translation factor that kind of makes you like the English one better. Like, I don't think I could ever like the Japanese version of Project A more than the English one, if nothing else for the comment about the Super Bowl that Biko made.
Yeah.
While making a baseball motion.
I know. That's one of those weird, like, cultural things that just didn't get translated well, because they're like, well, it's English, but nobody in America plays baseball, so we'll make it a football joke. It's like, I'm pretty sure baseball is fairly... I mean, it has a fairly decent following in America, and they're like, no, we gotta make it a Super Bowl reference.
Yeah, the Japanese have a real funny idea about Americans.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised, because, they're always fleeing Tokyo from Godzilla, so,
Obviously.
I understand where they might be wrong about a few cultural things.
I mean, a lot gets lost when you're running from Godzilla.
Yeah, and I mean, can you imagine how many times, in those giant fleeing crowds running out of the city of Tokyo, can you just imagine how many times some teenage kid falls into some 20-year-old woman's giant breasts? I mean, that's just the normal thing in Japan.
I mean, but as long as she has toast in her mouth, it's alright, so,
Well, he would have the toast in his mouth, because he was running late, and that's why he tripped and fell.
Running late, from Godzilla.
Yeah, I guess. Well, Rodan was also on the
Oh, okay, so
like,
there's more than one thread. That makes sense.
It's sort of like, it fits with the level of music so much better in Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, with voice actors in America, a lot of what happened was, they were just, like take the case of Doug Smith, the guy that did, what was his name, Kintaro or something in Golden Boy. Like, that's what he was famous for.
Okay.
He was the guy in the back room doing the box art for the VHS release. And
really?
They basically just pulled him into the studio and asked him to do the voice. He never even... I think
he's untrained.
I think that was his first voice acting job. And so, like, even to this day, because of that, because the people that were voice acting back then, they were the first ones doing it for anime, they kind of carved their niche. And so they're still doing it today, but they never really had any training.
Well, it's not just that, because some of those untrained people are actually pretty decent at what they do.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is that a lot of the trained people here in the U.S. seem to not take it very seriously, I guess, is the way to put it.
Well, no, those are even worse.
That's the Japanese voice acting industry is a machine, and it grinds people to dust. But it does produce good results when good results are called for, usually. But the American, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Like. There aren't a lot of... I don't know, this... Maybe this is true on both sides, I don't know. But, like, it seems like in the Japanese end of things, there are a lot of, top voice actors and actresses who are, like, actually, like, real person famous, right? But, like, no one aside from us gives a damn who Chris Patton is. And like a lot of the really high quality voice acting is done not by people who are trained voice actors, but by like people who are just movie actors who are just doing voice acting.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of cases like I made the mistake of watching that Ruby show once. I never want to make that mistake again. And like,
don't make that mistake again.
I don't think that the lead actress's voice is bad per se. I don't think she's a bad actress. But her voice doesn't fit the character at all, and because there's so few people in the anime, voice acting English niche, there's just this. It kind of feels like there's this thing where it's like, well, she did this once. Let's just have her take the lead role. And it's like, okay, but
Yeah.
you gotta kind of try and make the characters fit the voices sometimes. And I think they either abandon it entirely or they try to match it so close that it ruins the character itself.
So, I mean, you know, there's also, of course, the possibility that they had a different idea of what the character that they had in mind is different from the way that you're interpreting the character. But I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, there are cases where they did that really egregiously, like in Slayers, for instance.
Yeah, but it happens so much more in anime translations that I think that it's I think that it's got a lot more to do with that than just, you know, people not playing the character the way it was meant to be played.
Yeah. There's nowhere to go from here, is there?
There is, but I don't make it.
I don't think you can make that jump. I don't think you can make that jump.
Do you want to bet $10?
Do you make the jump later?
Will that affect our bet?
Yes. That's a long way to go for a single difficult jump. Like, you had to go up and down several different things.
I know, that's why it's...
so egregious.
In a game like this, that is about as pointless as it can get.
And it would be different if it was just that, like, you needed to... Like... There's no reason for you to be testing your kinesthetic abilities in this game. Like, that's not...
Yeah, this isn't a platform game.
This isn't Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. We don't need to time things. Like, you know, it would be perfectly fine if there was like a little 3-arrow thing that appeared. You know, like the little chevron thingy.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can make this jump. And it's like, the character makes the jump. Like, why didn't they just do that? We don't need to test our ability to time our jump right as we almost fall off the poorly designed thing. Oh, there's your character, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it kind of makes me angry because this game might have lent itself to an action RPG pretty nicely.
Sure. I mean, I think they made action RPGs with these characters.
Well, not with the hard girls, but...
Possibly not. But I think that there's Hyperdimension Neptunia.
To the best of my knowledge,
action RPG.
this and Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax are the only games that the hard girls will appear in.
Huh.
Yeah, so right about here, I got a bit worried.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know, I don't think I've mentioned this on the video yet, but I picked up that Tokyo Xanadu X Plus.
Yeah?
It's kind of like Falcom tries to do Persona.
Does it work
It's
out?
pretty good.
Works out pretty well?
It's alright. It's alright. It's not quite as flashy. I mean, Persona is well known for having really, really polished, flashy visuals and music. And Xanadu tries to get there, but doesn't quite make it. But the gameplay is pretty fun. And it's, you know, it's Ys style action RPG gameplay as opposed to turn-based RPG style gameplay. It's actually pretty fun.
You know, this might be the way we get through the rest of these videos, is for us just to talk about
other games that we're playing. Yeah, it could be. Well, so you've been playing, what, Legend of Grimrock?
Yes. Legend of Grimrock is fantastic. I never really got into the wizardry-style games that had a real-time combat element, because... And even in Grimrock, I have this problem. I am not good at popping open those menus and grabbing potions and things when I need them. I'm just...
Yeah.
When there's a real-time thing going on, I'm no good at that. Like, half the time I'm tempted to pull a character's shield off and just give him a potion instead, just so I have it, like, right there, but...
Yeah,
you can imagine that's not the best thing when your frontline fighters are being hammered.
Carrying potions.
It's like, I'm expecting you to kill me. I better hold on to this. But apart from that, that's probably the only. That's probably the top reason I would say I like the turn-based ones better. But what a fantastic game!
It's really good. Yeah. No, I mean, those games are basically modern remakes of the Dungeon Master series, which is not a... The Dungeon Master series was not a copy of the Wizardry series. It was almost a contemporary. Like, I think the first Dungeon Master showed up on Apple II or something like that, like something ridiculous. So they're contemporaries. So it's actually an entirely different game architecture, I guess is the way to put it.
And my niece, of all people, wanted to. She saw me playing the game and wanted to try it. So I let her try it for a bit, and I thought, okay, you'll probably do better with a turn-based one too, because these bad guys are just going to hammer on you.
Yeah.
So I downloaded Wizardry 8.
Yeah.
I had no idea that game was anything like what I was... When I set it up for her to play, I had no idea that's what the game was like. That game looks so much fun.
Oh, Wizardry 8 is amazing. The way that they do formations in that game is incredible. Did you see the formation compass thing?
I couldn't quite figure it out because I was in a hurry just
It's so cool. No, because the whole game's done in 3D without the whole 90-degree thing. So you place characters on that little compass, and you can have people in the back ranks, in the front ranks, in the side ranks, and in the center of the space that you're occupying.
Oh, that's
and so,
what that was. Okay.
That's what it is. So you put your mage in the center, and you put a fighter in the back, so that if you get attacked from behind, the fighter still can do stuff and protect the mages, things like that.
That is pretty cool.
It's an amazing game.
And then, at first I thought it was going to be a real-time game, and then I was like, oh no, you can set it to be that way.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, Wizardry and Dungeon Master are contemporaries, and they're totally different architectures of game design. So,
and all the different classes in Wizardry 8. There's like a Valkyrie class and a Bard
class.
No,
that's what I was. I mean, I remember talking to you about this. That's what I usually call Wizardry 2.0 rules. Basically, Wizardry was the standard 5 race 8 class game up through 5, and then in 6, what's his name? I'm blanking on the guy's name. Some other guy got hold of the Wizardry license basically, and he made 6, 7, and 8, and he basically added like 10 more races and not 10 total, 10 more races and like 10 more classes, and it's mind-boggling how much customizability there is. Plus, the skill system is really cool.
Yeah,
like Wizardry 7. Wizardry 7 is the first dungeon crawling RPG that I played that had a swimming skill, and you had to get it.
The couple of minutes that I watched of it had me thinking that I wanted to put Grimrock down for a while and kind of dive in.
So the thing about Wizardry 8, the thing about Wizardry 6, 7, and 8 is that if you can get through them in order, you can carry your party over.
I think you can do that in Grimrock as well.
Yeah, you might be able to do that. But Wizardry was kind of the king of that back in the day. Like, you could take your same party. In fact, you had to take your party through Wizardry 1 to play Wizardry 2, because Wizardry 2 starts out with, like, level 15 enemies or something like that.
That's horrifying.
And no, I mean, that's the way the game was designed. It was designed to be played in sequence.
So like, you might not know this and buy the second one and then realize you had to play through the first one?
That probably could happen, yes. Probably did happen to some people. I mean, they start you off in 2 with a party that's leveled. Like, there's a default party that's leveled up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But, like, the real way to play Wizardry... And, I mean, back in the day, it wasn't like kids were playing Wizardry. It's not a kid's game.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult, involved dungeon crawl. And it's very hard, and it's very cruel, and it's very fun if you can handle that. But like, I remember I bought a copy of Wizardry 2 for NES when I was a kid for like Christmas, and it actually says on it like not recommended for players below the age of 16 because the game is just so hard.
Yeah, they've quickly become my favorite type of game.
Yeah, they've been They've been up there as my favorite type of game for a very long time.
I guess technically they've been my favorite type of game since I was a kid, but I was playing more like the ASCII versions of Wizardry.
Well, what do you mean by the ASCII version of Wizardry?
Well, there was this one in particular that was, it was almost like a mix between, you know, between a rogue and a wizardry game, where you had these encounter battles like in Wizardry, but the overworld was like set up like a roguelike.
Do you remember what the game was called?
That's the thing. I've actually been trying to figure out what that game was for several years now, and well, probably about 25 years now, because I played it on my cousin's old Apple II. And I think it might have just been someone's bootleg game, like a homebrew game that someone made and distributed on like a mailing list that they had. They had like mailing lists where they would send out discs back in the day.
Yeah, I know.
I remember two of my favorite were on the Commodore 64. It was Uptime and Lodestar. Some of the best games that I played on the Commodore 64 were collections that were put on. There were usually like 6 different programs on each disc that came each month.
Yeah.
And the person that my dad bought the Commodore 64 from must have had like a 3-year subscription, because there were just tons and tons of these discs. And
yeah, no, they put out a lot of that because it was relatively inexpensive to do so, honestly. I mean, I remember I had a Atari 800 back in the day, which is kind of the Atari's version of the Commodore 64.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of, like, I had, like, you know, 200 discs, and, like, you know, 100 of them were, like, random game collections, and then the other 100 were, like, really cool games. Like, 7 Cities of Gold was a really cool game on Atari 800. It's basically an exploration game where you're basically Christopher Columbus. Like, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, I think
and that game was a
on
really cool game.
I think it was.
It's on everything now. I mean, it's on PC. It's on Atari 800. I'm pretty sure it was on Apple, probably on Amiga too.
Yeah, I think it was either on Amiga or C64.
Yeah, that was a good one. There was also another one. I can't remember what it was, but this is gonna sound really weird, but if I remember correctly, the game was like Bruce Lee versus the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that. It was like a 2D platformer, but it was really good.
That might have been. That wasn't like a sprite swap of.
No, it wasn't. It was an original game.
Oh, it was. It was like a released game.
Yeah, it was an original released game, I think. I mean, I guess I don't know for sure, but it sure felt like it. Like it was.
Well, some of those homemade games
it was
were
polished.
really good.
It had a lot of polish. It was really nice.
I mean, there were a lot of really good strategy games that me and my brother found going through those Uptime and those Lodestar discs. I wonder what's going on with these Hard Girls characters.
I'm watching them. They're just fighting random creatures.
Yeah, I had to try and build some
levels up. Yeah. I mean, I saw you nearly get destroyed by a carrot and a rock, so, you know.
I can't place Segami's voice actress from anything.
I mean, I guess we could look her up, but probably not worth our time.
Killer Vine just looks like it's tired.
What does?
Yeah.
Oh, the Killer Vine? Yeah. Well, it seems like all the enemies have a I am low on hit points animation.
So many choices.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think we're about due for a party change up here, too.
Are you gonna get the horn girl?
Well, you know, actually, it might be worth a try now with.
Oh God, you're right. She might not be horribly annoying.
But we would have to assume that they changed the sound effect too.
I mean, no, we don't. What if they just sampled it at a more reasonable volume?
That would be nice.
It would be much better.
Not a computer glitch there.
Yeah. Okay, so you saw that too. Right.
Yeah.
Good.
No, that was, I had to seam together 2 different videos.
Oh.
You know what's great about, you know, RPGs as opposed to, like, most of the other games that people like to play? Liking RPGs is great right now because it seems like almost everything is coming out on PC at this point.
Uh-huh.
Like you don't even really have to be too diverse in your systems anymore. I mean, I guess it's not a problem since I've got them all, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that show up on consoles that are just easier to play on consoles.
Oh yeah, I'll always take a controller over. There's very few things that I would rather have a keyboard for than a controller for.
Yeah.
Nothing that requires precise input, to be sure. Yeah, she's not just saying things like "there" when she's attacking enemies. Things that don't even make sense.
Well, Sokoda is there.
Son of a gun. It's like the game waited for me to make that comment.
I know, right? Is there a reason that you're grinding up here?
Yeah, there's a
there's nothing up
there's a
here.
save point.
Oh, I see. So in case you get your butt handed to you, you don't lose much.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Still, it doesn't seem like the enemies in this area are particularly difficult for you at this point.
No, they're not.
Maybe when you first came into the dungeon, but
yeah, I'm not anywhere near where I need to be for Carrot Dude.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, they're respawning. Almost.
Those things look like they have sticks stuck in their eyes.
What do?
Maybe they are sticks.
The chicken?
No, the killer
Maybe they are.
vines.
Oh, really? I don't know that those are eyes. They think they just might be sticks.
Conveniently
They don't look like
placed.
eyes. Well, it's a plant. It doesn't need eyes, right?
They're time eater babies.
Ah, you're right. They do kind of look like that.
No wonder the time eater doesn't like us. Leave me alone, I'm eating time. Well, yeah, well, we're gonna go back in the past and kill your children.
What?
You guys are jerks.
You guys are terrible. Why would you do that?
Think about how much of their time they spend murdering.
Well, they're not very different from other RPG characters in that respect.
No, they're not. They're monsters.
Yeah. I mean, at least you aren't going through, like, people's houses and just, like, stealing their stuff.
Yeah, this game took the moral high ground there.
Yeah.
Instead, we're just trashing these ancient ruins. Before they even become ancient.
That's Treasure Hunter, thank you very much.
It's nothing like Rings of Power. You know, where you could kill important, plot-important characters.
Yeah, a lot of old games did that, though.
That was one of the better ones, though, because you could do it, like, all over the place. And it was...
We're gonna try it again, huh?
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, we've committed ourselves to 35 out of the 45 minutes of this video so far. I may as well tell you, I don't complete the mission.
Oh, okay.
I don't die, but I don't complete the mission.
That's fair, though. I mean, you'll complete it eventually, right?
Yeah, I'll have to make one more run at it. But all that grinding, and I still wasn't able to do this, so...
Well, you're probably closer to it now. I mean, like... There seems like there's a fairly big jump in enemy difficulty from one space to the next.
Yeah, but, I mean, just looking at even this, it's like almost no difference in my attack power against these things.
Well, are you using the right element?
So I basically have to use this.
See, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was wondering whether this is an efficient use of your fever time, because it just pulled 25%. No, you almost killed 3 of them. Like, if you did that one more time, 3 of them would be down.
Oh yeah, no,
and
no,
one of them would be pretty bad.
I get this battle done, but like, I have very few attacks that are actually doing. Like she had a lot of power against that one with her attack, but if you think about it, she did like 3 times that damage to that thing in her EXE attack. So
yeah, that's true.
I'm not doing much damage with my regular attacks.
No, that's fair enough. But I mean, this is why you store your SP up and then use them in this in fights where things are difficult.
Yeah, but that means that also means I have to pull Game Gear out because she doesn't really have any good attacks with SP attacks.
Well, that's somewhat true, but she has that Fever Time attack, which seems to do tons of damage.
Yeah, it's very good.
And you only need to kill 5 of these Characters, so you know, there's not really. It's not like you need to do 10 of these battles. You need to do 3. And, you know, you might get lucky and find some Character drops that have more than 2 in the fight. And you've got this one almost down.
I wasn't taking any chances.
No, that's reasonable. I mean, they look like they're gonna be tough. But to be fair, at the end of this fight, you probably gain a couple levels, no?
Oh yeah, they throw levels at you in this game like it's nobody's business. I don't know how I'm only at level, like... Because you're leveling up a class and...
Yeah. Well, a lot of your classes are at level 20, which means that they're stuck. You need to unstick them.
Well,
especially the people that are in a different, not in the party, because they can take the status hit.
Those characters don't have other classes.
Second classes? Really?
Yeah, the only characters that have second classes so far are Game Gear, Segami, Nepgear, and IF.
Well, no, but they must get them. It's just that you haven't unlocked them. Maybe you need to play. Maybe you need to put them in the party or something. I don't know how you unlock new classes.
You unlock them as you come. You come across things that unlock them.
Oh,
like there's.
Huh. Then maybe you just need to look through the dungeons that you haven't gone through yet.
Well, no. You do quests and then events appear or characters appear that say, "Oh, I've unlocked your class," and you have no way of knowing which ones are doing that.
Oh, wonderful.
And then I make a mistake here. I should have left immediately and saved it or something.
Oh no, do you die?
No, I do not.
That's good.
I nearly died.
Well, your fever time is completely depleted.
I don't know what I was thinking going up against the Dragon Knights.
Well, to be fair, the appearance of the enemy doesn't appear to actually correspond to their difficulty in any meaningful way.
It's just so ridiculous though, because like when you get to the point where you actually have a chance against some of these enemies, that transformation becomes pointless. And before it becomes pointless, it's useless. The line of usefulness for it is so thin. It's like boss battles and boss battles only.
Pretty much. You should not be attacking the enemies right now. You should be running away.
I forget what I think I was thinking if I could take out the carrots and then run away.
Yeah, fair enough. That's not a bad idea, because we know for a fact that the carrots would count even if you run from the battle. Because we've seen quests clear like right as you kill the enemy in question and not at the end of the battle.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad idea. The question is whether you can make it that far. Because this is your last turn before the dragons get a move. And I don't think they're gonna be very kind to you.
Yeah, they don't like me. And as if I'm a rookie at this game, of course I'm gonna try and fight them.
The game is buzzing at you. No, no, run away. Don't try to use buff skills. That's not enough. It's not gonna do it.
Well, that's the weird thing though. It's like the support skills do actually boost you a significant amount.
Yeah, I know, but it's still not gonna be enough.
Oh yeah, no, we don't have the attack power to do this. So that's like half a hit.
Yeah. To be fair, if you had something that could hit the whatever weakness they have elementally, that might work. That's not going to be it, though.
No, that's so not it.
Yeah, you don't...
You generally don't do that when they have Dragon in the title, and I don't know what I was thinking.
Except for cases where there is a very clear ice elemental thing going on, you don't use fire on dragons.
Oh yeah, he's virus, by the way.
I see that, and that means he's going to be even more dangerous. You should leave the battle. No, 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 what are you doing?
This is just me being like, can I actually do this somehow? And being so wrong.
Yeah.
Yep, that wasn't enough.
No, you're not doing any damage. Yeah, that's bad. And now that one went virus. You're gonna run away now, right?
Oh yeah.
You're lucky that the escape was successful.
Well, she's got the highest success rate, so...
Well, that may be, but some RPGs have really poor success rates for running away in general. Like, really bad. I've played games where it was not uncommon to have, like, a 33% chance of running for your best character. Like, you were playing with your life right there.
Hey, but we got those carrots.
4 of them. You still need one more.
Look, in a game like this, you kind of got to make your own excitement.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's the excuse I will use.
Sure.
For my stupidity.
Not stupidity, more like... stubbornness.
Yeah. I don't think I can deny that charge.
Well, don't just roll over.